Hey, it's your girl, and you better listen up. You think you're in a relationship? Ay nako. Dating in the Philippines is not a rom com. It's a high stakes poker game where your retirement account is the buy in. You're sitting at a table where the dealer knows your hand before you do, and every sweet smile is a tell. You think your money gives you power here? It doesn't. It just paints a giant glowing target on your back for every hungry player in the room. And trust me, the room is crowded. You're probably a good guy, 50, maybe 60, fresh out of a soul crushing divorce in the West. You're lonely, you're tired of the games back home, and you see these stunning, attentive women who make you feel like a king again. You have some savings, a bit of a nest egg, and you think that makes you a catch. You believe you're buying a ticket to paradise, a second act. Let me be the one to tell you. You're not buying a ticket, you're funding the casino, and your heart is the collateral. Every time you send 5,000 pesos for her mother's medicine, that's not a gift, it's a probe bet. You're showing your cards. You're telling everyone at the table that you're a loose player, an easy mark who leads with his wallet instead of his head. You think you're investing in a future family, but you're just paying a tax for existing. The worst part? You feel so good doing it, like a hero, a provider. That feeling is the bait, and you are swallowing the hook, the line, and the sinker. This isn't a game you can afford to lose. We're not talking about a few bad dates, we're talking about total financial liquidation. A 6-month campaign to methodically drain every dollar you have until you're an empty husk, booking a one-way flight home in shame while she moves on to the next table. These aren't random events. This is a playbook, a sequence of manufactured crises and escalating obligations, all disguised as love and duty. And I'm about to read it to you, page by bloody page. Pay attention, because I'm not some academic talking theory. I grew up in this world. I've seen this war from both sides of the trenches. I've seen men like you, with good intentions, get wiped off the map. So I'm giving you the battlefield intelligence you need to survive. This is your manual, your set of rules. I am going to list the exact plays that will be run against you. This is the only warning you are going to get before you're broke and alone. So you need to make a choice, right now, before we even get to the first rule. You have to stop listening to the sweet nothings she whispers and start looking at the cold, hard numbers on your bank statement. You need to ask yourself what you're really playing for. The fantasy is over. The real game is about to begin. So, what do you really want? Do you want love, sex, or survival? Alright, let's get tactical. Think of this city as a battlefield map. Your hotel is your base, but the moment you step outside, you're in contested territory. Every bar, every mall, every dating app is a potential engagement zone. And mistake number one is your total failure to understand the terrain. You're walking around like a tourist, not a soldier. A guy I know, Mark, met a girl. Week 2, she needed 2,000 pesos for her sick auntie's medicine. He sent it instantly, feeling like a good man. He wasn't a good man, he was just the first casualty. You see, that 2,000 pesos wasn't for medicine, it was a signal flare. It told her and her entire network that you are a responder. You react to financial friction with cash. You're not seen as a partner, you're classified as a resource, an open flank. While you're dreaming of holding hands on the beach, she's mapping out your financial weak points for extraction. You think you're building a connection? You are funding the opposition's reconnaissance mission against your own bank account. You paid her to test your defenses, and you failed. Now for the ambush. Mistake number 2, believing the manufactured crisis. This is where the probe bet becomes a real hand. The sick auntie is now a dying mother. The broken phone is now a typhoon-damaged roof. It's always urgent, always dramatic, and always requires a wire transfer right now. A German man last year emptied his savings, 10,000 euros, for his girlfriend's brother's motorcycle accident. There was no accident. The brother just bought a new motorcycle. The German is now back in Munich, working overtime to pay off the debt. Then comes the most clever trap because it feels like an investment. Mistake number 3, the Our Future Business Proposal, the Sari Sari store, the pig farm, the little online business. It's pitched as a joint venture, a way to build a life together. It's not. It is a black hole designed to absorb your retirement fund. You provide 100% of the capital, she provides 100% of the excuses when it inevitably fails. You're not an investor. You're the sole underwriter for a project that was never meant to succeed, only to drain. These 3 mistakes are just the opening salvos, the artillery fire to soften you up. They target your wallet, sure, but they're predictable. They're the amateur moves. If you fall for these, you're an easy mark. But what comes next is far more dangerous. The next mistake isn't just about losing money, it's about losing your mind. It's a psychological attack designed to break your frame, destroy your reputation, and make you believe you are the one who is going crazy. And that's a kill shot you might not recover from. This brings us to the psychological kill shot, because your wallet is the secondary target. The primary target is your mind. Mistake number 4 is failing to see the emotional ledger. When the money flows, the affection is a tidal wave. The sweet messages, the pictures, the promises, it's all there. The moment you hesitate, the moment you say no, the affection dries up instantly. She becomes distant, cold, maybe even starts a fight. Are you the captain steering the ship, or are you just a taxi being paid for the ride? And if you dare to question the ledger, she will deploy the most vicious weapon in the arsenal: manufactured jealousy. Suddenly, there's an old suitor, a new admirer, a text message you're not supposed to see. She'll accuse you of not trusting her, or worse, of being unfaithful yourself. It's a brilliant, evil move. It flips the script, puts you on the defensive, and makes you desperate to prove your loyalty. And how do you prove it? By giving in, by sending the money to remove the threat. You're not fighting for her, you're bidding against a ghost. Next comes mistake number 5, the quarantine. She will methodically isolate you from any voice of reason. Your friends back home who say it sounds fishy, they don't understand our culture. That other expat at the bar who warns you, he's just a bitter old man. Soon, the only reality you hear is hers. Her family's problems are your problems. Her financial needs are your obligations. You think you're in a protective bubble of love, but you are in a medically induced coma, and she is the only one with access to your IV drip. Now for the master stroke. Mistake number 6. Using the future as collateral. She will talk about marriage, kids, moving to your country. It feels so real. But these aren't plans, they are leverage. If you really want to build a life with me, you'll help my brother with his debt. You're not investing in a future together. You are making a down payment on a fantasy. You are trading your hard-earned real-world cash for a beautiful story. And it is the most expensive story you will ever buy, with a final chapter you won't want to read. You see the pattern here? It's a coordinated psychological assault designed to dismantle your confidence. You are no longer the captain of your ship making decisions. You are a passenger in her taxi, going wherever she decides, and the meter is always running. You begin to doubt your own judgment, to believe you are the one who is crazy, paranoid, or unloving. This is the goal. Because once you lose your frame, you lose everything. But this entire game pivots on a single axis, and the game changes when you stop negotiating with hope. So, you've been played. Good. The denial is broken. Now the real work begins. Stop being the victim in this story and start being the strategist. This is the pivot. We are done diagnosing the sickness. Now we build the cure. Think of your relationship as an airplane and your money as its fuel. You are the pilot. You do not get cleared for takeoff until you complete a full, cold, mechanical pre-flight checklist. Any single red flag on that list, and the flight is cancelled. No exceptions, no negotiations. First, You run every single request through a brutal, non negotiable filter. This is your go no go gauge. Is this a life or death emergency, or is it a lifestyle upgrade disguised as a crisis? You must learn to see the difference instantly. Her brother needs money for an infected wound? That's a maybe, pending verification. Her sister wants a new laptop for school? That is a hard no go. Your job is to stop being her family's personal charity fund and start being the captain of your own damn ship with a budget. Second, if a request passes the filter, it doesn't get a pass, it gets a test. This is the discipline test. You never send cash, ever. Instead, you offer to participate. You need medicine? Let me come with you to the pharmacy and pay for it. Watch what happens. If the need is real, your presence will be welcome. If it is a lie, you will be met with a wall of excuses, anger, or sudden silence. This isn't a trust exercise, it's a tactical probe to expose the truth. The test has only two outcomes: pass or fail. There is no gray area. If she fails, by refusing your participation, by getting angry, by ghosting you, the decision is made. The flight is scrubbed. You don't argue, you don't negotiate, you execute your exit plan. Your attachment is the burning engine, and your job is not to fix it mid flight, but to land the plane and get the hell out before it explodes. You must be ready to walk away at the first sign of system failure. This is your new framework, the runway checklist: filter, test, decide, exit. You operate on this checklist, not on hope, not on promises, not on how good she makes you feel. Your feelings are now a confirmed liability. From this moment forward, you are an auditor, a mechanic, and a pilot, all in one. Memorize this sequence. Write it on your hand if you have to, because in the next part, the training is over. We're taking this checklist into the field and you're going to execute it under fire. Alright, let's put the checklist into the fire. The game is about to speed up. Think of it like a ping pong match where she's serving and you're just reacting. But now, you're not just reacting, you're holding your position. The phone rings at 3 a.m. It's her. Her mother has been rushed to the hospital. She's crying. She needs 10,000 pesos right now. You're lying in bed. She's right there beside you, whispering how much she loves you. Your checklist says, I'll get dressed. We'll go to the hospital together. Watch her face. The tears might stop. The anger might begin. You don't trust me? This is her return shot, trying to knock you off balance with guilt. You are not playing her game. You are playing yours. Your only move is to repeat the test. I want to be there for your mother. Let's go. If she refuses, if she creates a storm of drama, you have your answer. The crisis is a fiction. You have just dodged a bullet that was aimed directly at your savings account. Now she serves again, faster. The sex is amazing, better than ever, but then comes the whisper. My cousin's Australian boyfriend just bought her a sari store. He must really love her. This isn't a comment, it's a shot to your ego. The runway checklist applies. You don't get emotional, you get practical. That's a great idea. Let's draft a business plan. We can both contribute. You are no longer the bank, you are a potential partner. The pressure is no longer on your wallet, it's on her to prove this is real. Suddenly, you're not just dodging financial bullets, you're winning the match. You feel the gut-wrenching anxiety recede, replaced by a cold, hard sense of control. You will lose the drama. You will lose the manufactured highs that were tied to your spending. What you gain is your power, your future, your sanity. You're not the taxi driver anymore. You're the pilot, and you've just grounded a faulty plane, saving yourself from a crash you didn't even see coming. The silence you feel isn't loneliness, it's peace. But surviving these attacks isn't the end of the game. It just qualifies you for the final round. There is one last rule. This isn't a tactic or a filter, it's a law of nature in this landscape. It governs everything, And it's the one thing that separates the men who leave with a partner from the men who leave with nothing but an empty bank account and a story about a girl they used to know. It's the law of the exit, and you better be ready to use it. So, let's review the law. You are not a taxi hailed for a ride, you are the captain of the ship. You are not a charity, you are the pilot on the runway. Stop chasing the bee and become the flower. A flower doesn't beg for attention, it simply produces the nectar, and the right bees come because the value is undeniable. Your money, your time, your presence, that is your nectar. Stop spraying it on every weed in the field. Your value is not in your generosity, but in your disciplined, sovereign control. The final rule is this: there is no exit strategy, there is only an exit. You don't negotiate with a failing engine, you land the plane. You don't reason with a fire, you get out of the building. The moment she fails a test on the runway checklist, the game is over. You don't owe an explanation, you owe yourself a future. Your kindness is a weapon, and if you are not in command of it, it will be used to execute you. Don't be a casualty, be a survivor, or be a memory. This was your final briefing. Now you have the playbook. You know the enemy's moves before they are made. The question is, what will you do with it? If this video just described the last 6 months of your life, prove you're awake. Go to the comments right now and type checklist engaged to signal you're taking back the controls. Subscribe for more battlefield intelligence. Like this video to get it in front of another man who is walking into the same ambush right now. Do it. And if I just saved you your house, your retirement, your dignity, show your gratitude. Keep this channel funded and operational. There is a super thanks button right below and a PayPal link in the description. Support the mission. You have 24 hours to run your first discipline test and see what happens when the affection stops. Now get out there and remember, if you're going to get screwed, you better be the one on top. Stay sharp out there.